Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here, and we'll do a little recap of Season 7, Episode 1 of Alone. I got a chance to rewatch the episode, and thought we would at least I'd talk a little bit about it. Tonight's the next episode, 10 o'clock on the History Channel. I hope you guys will watch it. It's a great show. But anyways, I didn't watch any of the past seasons, so I'm not sure if some of the things that I liked about this season, the beginning, they've done it in the past. For instance, I really liked how they started right out with taking the contestants out to their spot and starting on day one, rather than a lot of the backstory of the people. And I know that during the season, during the episodes, they would do that as well, but it just seemed that this season started off at a little bit faster pace. They focused on 3 of the contestants in the first episode. Sean, I think her name is Kaylin, and Joe. It's hard to tell because there's Kaylin and Callie, 2 female contestants. I think it was Kaylin though. But anyways, a little bit of a change this year from the past seasons is that they've gone inland hunting. They haven't spent as much time fishing as previous contestants, and they seem to be having a lot of success with the hunting. And frickin' Joe is better at David than throwing stones. I mean, this dude took down a squirrel by throwing a rock at it. Sean, pretty deadly with the recurve bow, especially when they're shooting into. He was shooting into a tree. I'm not sure a lot of people hunt with bow, but I do, and it's such a risky shot when you're shooting into. When it's not a completely clean shot, an arrow could get deflected by, a twig. And so I was pretty impressed with him. And then if it's Kaylin, she was having success with snares. So they were a lot of inland hunting and a lot of success. I guess the only thing about it that I think I'm going to give people a little bit of a pass this year on cutting themselves. I mean, everybody knows that you should, when you're cutting something, you cut away from yourself. You don't cut towards yourself. And there's been a lot of mishaps with cutting themselves because they cut towards themselves, or even chopping wood and they take part of their finger with it. But I think with Sean this season, when he after 10 days was complaining about not having the energy, and we'll get to Sean in a minute, but I think the fatigue factor, the eye-hand coordination, you lose that. You lose your train of thought a lot quicker. So I'm going to be a little bit easier on people that do that. I mean, I'm only hypercritical of that because they're supposed to be survival experts. they're supposed to know better. And they do these things and they get themselves hurt, and then it takes them out of the game. So that's why it bothers me. They just do things that they shouldn't do. And that kind of brings us to Sean, and this episode was titled The $1 Million Mistake. How in the hell do you lose your fire making stick? How do you do that? It's just unconscionable to me that you would lose your ability to make fire because you lose your equipment to do that. And he's not the first to do this. To my recollection, there were 2 others. So there's been 3 people on this show that have lost their ability to easily make fire. And he talks about how in the last few bits of his video there, he talks about how fire is everything here. Well, I remember, how can it be everything when you're so careless with a fire stick? It just I just don't know how you do that. I mean, there was a time like when you went to a gas station, and if you had to use the restroom, and the restroom was, the door was pretty much on the outside of the building, and so you go into the attendant there and you'd say, "Can I get the key to the restroom?" And they would hand it to you, and it would be on a damn hubcap or something, or it would be attached to about a 10-pound chain. I mean, there was no way you were going to lose that. I don't know why these people don't have it attached to a 3-foot log they have to drag around or something. Or if it's they should make it fluorescent orange. So it's easier to find, but damn, I don't know how you do that. With that kind of money on the line, and fire is everything, and you lose your fire stick, I almost feel like, you know, there's tap outs that don't make sense to me. And I guess the one way to get out of the I miss my family tap out, which, I mean, the show was called Alone. Okay, that means you're alone without your family. And then you decide after 2 weeks, you know, well, you've done everything you thought you wanted to do, or, you know, you miss your family and you want to get home. Maybe a way of using that as a weak excuse is to lose your fire stick. I put it in the same category. I don't understand how you could possibly misplace probably the one item that you feel that you need in order to survive there. So that's it for episode 1. Episode 2 on tonight, 10 o'clock, History Channel. They might have, now I'm thinking about it, they actually might have done a 4th guy last night. The guy from Alaska. They did the botanist. They did Sean from Tennessee, the lady, and Roland. I think Roland was on there too. So I guess if I were to pick one person from episode 1, I'm not sure. I mean, Joe the botanist, I mean, that's some critical living skills there until the snow flies, and then there won't be a lot of berries and grubs to pick. Roland really seems to have his stuff together, and he kind of made a comment about sort of an indirect comment about there's no one kind of waiting for him back home, so he can he can't use that excuse, and he seems to be living a fairly primitive life as it is. So there might have been 4 that they talked to last night, but I would say Roland and Joe at the moment seem to be I would put towards the top. Maybe Roland first, and then Joe second, just because of when the snow starts flying, Joe loses some of his skill set. So season 2, or the episode 2, watch it tonight, and we'll have a vlog on that one probably tomorrow morning. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.